Sharnu Sunil.
Sharnu Samipya ji, how are you?
I'm good.
Tell me Samipya ji.
Yeah, it's been a long journey since I'm seeing you at Doderi. So, how's been your journey? And since when have you started coming here?
Yes, it's been quite a long journey. Well, even though, when you asked me this question, I realized that it is a long journey because I started this journey in 2007. In fact, Appa called me to start this journey in 2007. And it all started, through my colleague, who was working in my office at that point of time. His name is Raghu, who's, ardent devotee of Appa. So he happened to, we happened to connect in office. And during dinner time, one of the days, he happened to give me a book called Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna.
Okay.
And I just accepted it blindly because he was my colleague and he was offering me this book. I never had an intent to read it per se at that point of time, but I ended up reading that book page by page gradually, and over a period of time I got absorbed into this book and went really deep into this book. And then it really fascinated me, this book. And one of the dinner times, I asked Raghu that is there a guru like Guru Maharaj? He was called as Guru Maharaj in that book. And then he said yes. And I asked him, can I meet him? He said yes, he's coming to he'll be coming to Bangalore, and he'll be in one of the houses in Sadavshi Nagar. That's a house of Pushpama, a devotee of Appa. And so date Appa will be coming. Why don't you come? I'll introduce you to him. And that's how the meeting happened. So the first day when I met him, it was a very plain meeting, no conversation. Raghu just introduced me to Appa, and I bowed down on his feet, and that's it. No conversation. It's absolutely no conversation. I never even thought that that this journey will come this long, and I hope it continues forever.
Nice. So when you met Appa for the first time, what was your feeling like?
Like I said, it was completely plain. I don't remember the feeling at that point of time, but I think it was like he never spoke to me. I never spoke to him, and it just, there was no feeling. It just happened. And there's nothing called like like you hear a lot of gurus giving words of wisdom or blessing you with the hand. Nothing like that. It's just that silence, and that's it. And it just happened. There's nothing called a feeling. I think it was just a very natural thing of meeting somebody else. And I think he kind of got into me just like that, and I just felt complete after that.
So was your family okay with you coming to ashram? You said you met Appa in 2007 at Pushpama's place. So after that, you immediately came to Doderi, or how was it?
I think maybe a couple of weeks later. I believe that was my first visit to Doderi. I don't clearly remember. I happened to visit Doderi right after that meeting. Maybe after 2 to 3 weeks, I sort of traveled to Doderi along with Raghu. And yeah, that's, what was your next question? Sorry.
So was your family a part of your journey at that point of time?
Well, when I met Appa, I met him alone. That was the first time that's how I met. Obviously, family was not involved. Of course, I came back home and I told them that that I happened to meet a person by name Appa and all that. But family was not involved at that point of time. However, now since you asked me that question, and I happened to visit Doderi after a couple of weeks, then I felt like going to Doderi often. After my first visit, it actually looks like I sort of sailed through. Then at some point, maybe after a few months, I realized, oh, I think I've sailed through enough, but none of my family members are with me. And then I asked Raghu at that point of time, my wife and daughter are probably, I don't know whether they'll be able to accept Appa, because the place itself, Doderi, is pretty simple. I mean, you generally sleep in the floor there. There is no nothing luxury there, absolutely no luxury there. You know, the Indian toilets and all that. It is completely very village sort of place.
Yeah.
And nobody speaks to you per se. It's just that everybody is silent, everybody is doing their own thing. It is just that environment itself is something unbelievable. But I never thought, I always thought that whether my family will be able to take it. That was a big question. So I did ask this to Raghu. Look, I'm not too sure what will happen now. Will they accept it or not? Now that was a big question at that point of time. And he did advise that what, just hold on. Appa will pull your family to over a period of time. You don't have to worry about it. He'll take care of it. And then it really happened. That's how the journey started. Yeah.
So what are your how has it been like a connection with Appa? A lot of experience over the years and a lot of memories with Appa, be it the trip or anything.
Yeah.
So you must have shared a lot of experiences. So
Yeah, correct. I think sometimes these experiences must happen to a devotee, especially during the initial stage of us meeting a guru. And I did experience a lot of things after meeting Appa. I still remember, I think probably my first or second visit to ashram, I happened to meet Sam Dev there. He's one of the devotees at ashram, and he happened to he told me that we need to pick up some kids of the dairy from a school near Chellakere.
okay.
And we both traveled to that place, and then we realized that it'll take some more time. So Sam Dev said, why don't you have a coffee here? And then we went to a coffee shop nearby, and we were just sipping a coffee. And he said, the devotees that come to ashram are constantly thinking of Appa without a second. I was just, it was probably my second trip. And then I thought that, probably this man, is simply lying, or he's not telling me the truth. I just heard that, and we just moved on. We got the kids and dropped them back to ashram, and life continued. But few months later, I guess maybe a few weeks later, I traveled to office by bus, and in order to go to the bus stop, I need to walk at least about 10 minutes minimum. So as in when I started walking, I the namasmarana started happening very naturally to me, even without an effort. And this went on happening very constantly. Every time I walk to the bus stop, the namasmarana happens just like that. And there are times where I kind of stopped and said, now whatever is happening inside me, somebody is listening, or am I going mad? There are days where I've hit my head as well. What is happening to me? This namasmarana is constantly coming, effortless. I'm not actually forcing myself for that namasmarana to happen. It was just constantly happening. Then I immediately thought of Sam Dev, that what he said was right at that point of time. I never thought it would happen to me, and this actually remained almost consistent most of the time. Whenever I walk, especially whenever I'm alone, and it is an effortless process. It's not with an effort, and that is one of the experiences, the most first experience that I had.
Nice.
Then I had multiple such experiences. Maybe I'll quote a couple of experiences here. One of the experience has been I started late night from my office after about 12 o'clock or 1 o'clock in the night. And I still remember I got down from the lift. It was about 1:30 or 2 o'clock in the night.
Okay.
And there was a cab waiting down, so I just got into the cab and I sat behind the driver. And driver just said, sir, are we good to start? I said, yes, let us start. And moment he switched on the ignition and was about to leave, I just saw a pole right in front of the car. And I told this driver, just hold, hang on, just stop. And by the time he went and hit the pole, and then he turned back and said sorry. And moment he turned back and said sorry, he started sort of shouting sort of thing. Sir, you have an injury on your head and it's all ripped off.
Got a little panic.
Yeah, he was totally panicked, and nothing was happening to me, absolutely nothing. And he just could not bear probably that visual what he was seeing. And I was absolutely sitting there, and I said, look, I'm feeling okay. What is the problem? He said, no, sir, it's your there's an opening above your eyes. the right hand side, and there's a lot of blood, sir. We cannot see this. Then some other cab drivers during the night, they joined and they peeped inside, and they were all very surprised. And I'm absolutely normal, and I told them, you know what, if there is a if there is an opening, then let's go to Manipal Hospital. That's the place where I stay, and doctor will suture it, and it should be taken care. And none of the drivers were actually sure of taking me, because probably they may have thought that what happens if something goes wrong. Then one of the driver was courageous enough. He made me sit in his car. He brought me to Manipal Hospital, and moment I entered Manipal Hospital, they get you into one of those ICCU or something, some immediate unit where they take emergency care. And I got in there, and there's this ward boy who started cleaning the wound, and moment he saw the wound, he said, "Sir, iden sir, enagid nimge." So this ward boy who was watching me, who kind of was nursing me at that point of time, he was shocked to see this wound, and I could feel that from his face that that probably something serious has happened, which I'm not able to figure out. And then immediately, it was 2 o'clock in the night, and at that point of time there was and they said this needs to be sutured by a plastic surgeon. So I don't know how they figured out a plastic surgeon. There was this lady who was in the hospital at that point of time, 2 o'clock in the night. And she started suturing my wound, and she said, "Look, I'm going to give you a painkiller, and if you're having any pain, you should let me know, after a few minutes or so." So she went on suturing for pretty long, maybe some half an hour to 40 minutes or so. And she said, "Are you not feeling any pain?" I said, "No, I'm all right, constantly." Then she made a comment stating, "You know what? I've not seen someone like you who's not shaken, and who's completely okay throughout the process. Once the process was done, and I never felt anything, to be honest." And the suturing was done, and she said about 30 plus sutures were put, and it was all normal. And this ward boy came after some time, and he said, "Oh, now the wound doesn't look like there was a wound before, and it was cleanly sutured it." I said, "Look, I want to go. I'm all fit now." And then I started, stepping out of the hospital. And as soon as I stepped out, I see a lot of people from my office already has come to hospital. And I said, "Look, I'm all right. I'm completely all right." And there was a cab organized, and they dropped me to the house, and I got in. So what I did was, before sleeping, I just put all my clothes into a bucket with the water, and I went on to sleep. And next day morning, when our house help came home, I believe she ran to you and said that there's a lot of blood in the bucket.
Yeah, I remember that.
A lot of blood in the bucket. All Anna's shirt and pant is soaked in blood. I can see that in the bucket. So, but I must tell you, I never even felt an iota of pain or iota of fear or nothing. It was absolutely fine. And there was a bandage on my above my right eye. And next day I went to office, and I just want to make sure that people don't panic or come and see me at home and things like that. And then after a few days, I happened to meet Appa. I think you were also part of that visit.
Yeah, we went to a satsang.
Satsang, correct. Yeah. And there what happened was, Appa was actually on a cot, and I straight away got into that room. I don't know how I got in as well. I just got in and sat on the floor. So I got in there, and Appa asked me, "How are you?" I said, "I'm fine." Appa was, as usual, putting his bit in it. And then I told Appa, I had an accident like this, Datta ninan kapadda anta, Appa said. And at that point of time, I never realized that. It was just, the initial meeting still with Appa. Then, now looking back, I really know that, it was Appa himself who had taken care of me, and from then onwards, it's been a very, very, very great journey, very nice journey. Now,
I think that's been a memorable year for us, because Appa came to our place immediately after that. So
I guess on that meeting itself, Appa said,
Appa told us to go to a homa.
Yeah, next day you need to come there, or one of the Sundays, I think, after a day or two, maybe.
No, immediately the next day, he told us to be there for the homa. And after which he just, because we couldn't meet him, we
Yeah.
went to Lal Bagh, and then I still,
He
whenever
gave you a
I,
bouquet there.
yeah,
Yeah.
which,
That's the first time I think you got something like that from Appa.
yeah.
Uh,
And it was very nice of him.
Correct, I remember. So that's how we met him in Lal Bagh, and that's the day evening he said that he'd like to visit one of the devotees' house. I don't know what happened. None of the devotees were open at that point of time. It is all Appa's karuna. What happened? And then I requested Appa, why don't you come home? Then he asked us, can you accommodate so many people? I said, why not? Please come over. And then we all ran, back to house, because we had to cook. When I said, Appa, why don't you come home? Then he said, how come ನಿನ್ನ ಮನೆಯವರು ಇನ್ನೂ ಕರೆದಿಲ್ಲ ನನ್ನನ್ನು?
Yeah.
Then I kind of, asked you, why don't you invite Appa? And that's when you kind of invited him and Appa agreed to come. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, correct. So Appa came home that day night, and very interesting thing happened. So there were about, I don't know, about 25-30 people at home, I
I
guess.
think it was about 50 people.
50? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So this house was packed, and I was sleeping in the kitchen, and I used to get up every 10-15 minutes just to check if Appa is walking out of the bedroom or something, or if he needs something. So at about the post midnight, maybe about 2-3 o'clock, I got up, and moment I got up, I saw Appa walking out of the bedroom alone, and then I came running to Appa. Appa, what do you need? I said, nothing. He asked me, where is Chikana sleeping? I said, he's in the other room. Then he said, you wake him up. And I went and woke up Chikana. Then Appa came and slept back in the cot. I was near his face, sitting in the floor. And Appa suddenly asked me, we had a small discussion, general discussion. Then he said, look, I feel like eating an orange. Can I get an orange? And I knew for sure there's no orange in my house at that point of time. Then, however, since he said, I just felt that let us go to the dining room and check if some fruits are around. So I happened to see, a packet of orange lying there. Then I removed one and, got it up. By then, Srimat had gotten up and she peeled the orange and she was started offering to Appa. And Appa immediately said that, this is sour, I don't want to eat. Then I asked Appa, this banana, can I get a banana for you? He said, yeah, go and get it. Then, Appa ate a banana, and then he said, you all can go to sleep. And next day morning at about 7 o'clock, he left home. So during all this process, it felt very natural. I never, the kind of image that I have about Appa today and then were two different things, because then probably I treated Appa, I looked at Appa more of a nice friend who's taking care of me, not exactly like a guru, things like that. And over a period of time, it got established that, it was not a normal or an elevated human being I was talking to. It was God himself, whom I was talking to. And that unfortunately I felt over a period of time. And I regret for that. I should have taken care of him better when he visited my home that point of time. I never realized that, that I'll be reaching this state where, I'll consider him to be a god, and I regret for, again, I regret. I use this word very often, that we should have taken care of him much better than, what it was before. And there's also saying of Appa, right? Andu kelade bandidya. So I constantly remember that, Now, I think a couple of times I've invited Appa later, and I don't know when he will come, but, that's what it is, So it's been one of a great experience with Appa so far.
Nice memories. I think some things just go unexpected, and more than unexpected, it's like he showers so much love on you and makes the environment so bliss.
Absolutely.
That
I must speak about this experience about my daughter actually. So Tanvi had an issue with her leg, and doctor told that she needs to be operated. Pretty complex operation, because her hip had to be sort of removed and and then operated upon around that hip area. Pretty complex surgery, and we were told that it is 1 out of per lakh, this happens to a kid. And there were no doctors in Bangalore who could operate at that point of time. Then it got detected pretty late that it is a problem with the hip and it had to be operated. And then we went ahead and met Appa as well. And Tanvi said, look, whatever Appa says, we'll go ahead with that. And I was shocked when Tanvi made this point, because I think she was in what, 8th standard, 9th?
No, she was in the 7th grade.
Oh, she was in 7th grade then.
This was in that cabin, I still remember. The doctor said the surgery has to be done immediately.
Yeah.
Be it tomorrow also, we have to I'll just organize the doctor.
Correct.
And Tanvi just said, whatever Appa says, we'll do.
Correct. I remember that.
She said nothing beyond it.
Yeah. It actually, made me think, how come this small kid is speaking this language of, if Appa says yes, we'll go ahead with the operation. Then I know we went ahead and, met Appa. Appa really, ಮುದ್ದು ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು ತನ್ವಿನ, ಬಹಳ ಮುದ್ದು ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು. ಆಗಲ್ಲಮ್ಮ, ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಆಗ್ತೀಯ ಅಂತೆಲ್ಲ ಮುದ್ದು ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು. And then the operation happened. The surgery took about 3 to 4 hours, or maybe even more than that. I think it was a tough time, we were going through. And the recovery took few months, I guess a year, couple of years probably,
about
because there was some metal thing put inside.
Yeah, totally 2 years she took.
And then one big instance happened. So, we all decided to go for a holiday to Indonesia. I think it was Bali. And then one of the days there, she started complaining about the pain. And it was, just such a terrible pain that she could not bear. She started, tearing off the paper through her mouth, and, tearing off the cloth and, holding on. And it was very difficult, and I could see that she was not able to bear the pain. And I was at loss of words and loss of thoughts, what to do right now, whom to talk to, because it's a different country, you don't know where the doctors are and things like that. And she was just not able to bear the pain. Immediately I called Ashtam. I think I called Samdev that day. Mm-hmm. And Samdev said, Appa is in Chellakere, give me 10 minutes, I'll let Appa know, something like that. And then after 10 minutes, I think he called us back. And I heard Appa saying, nagalla. As he was saying, Appa just started saying, and immediately Tanvi was off the pain. There's absolutely no pain.
She was just getting up and sitting.
Yeah, she was just getting up and sitting. On all the tears, everything wiped off, and it was unbelievable. And she was all fine. And of course, I don't know whether I've taken it seriously at that point of time. But when I look back, I was just wondering, man, how did all that happen? And then after we came down to India, I think we went and met Appa. And Appa was talking to a couple of devotees that point of time. And then he just turned back and said, look, even ಮಗಳಿಗೆ ಏನೋ ನೋವಾಯ್ತಂತೆ, ಫಾರಿನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇದ್ರಂತೆ, ಏನಾಯ್ತು ಹೇಳಿವ್ರಿಗೆ Appa, made us speak about the experience. And we bow down to Appa, and that was some unbelievable experience that happened. Because how can the pain just go off within no moment at all, and tears completely gone? Imagine the situation we were in just few seconds back, and within no seconds, everything was taken care. It is, these are some of the unbelievable deep impressions I don't think we'll ever forget, and we'll carry this forever.
Very true. So it's taking some time for me, when we go back to the past. And when we think, so there's so many people who come and ask us about experiences. Some, I think every day has been an experience, every day has been a journey. And most importantly, I think we've been learning so many things from Appa, right from the bhajans.
Correct.
I think.
Look, one interesting thing, if you've noticed about Appa, is that is no words exchanged. Everything happens through silence, or I don't know. Everything happens. Silence is also probably hindrance to this. It just happens, and how it happens, I think it's happening to all the devotees of Appa, and it just happens. So gradually, you tend to believe that, that which just happens is, gives an indication of, what this is it, this is the Guru. And it doesn't happen through words, it doesn't happen through action, it just happens. I guess that's a true indication of, the real Guru, who doesn't even say that I'm a Guru, He doesn't even bless
It is
you.
divine.
It's not that he blesses with your hand. Sorry, he blesses, of course. I'm sure, without his blessing, nothing will move. But there's no physical way of blessing a devotee per se, there is no words exchanged. It's all just happening, and you don't know how it is happening. And this is something, I had met a lot of gurus in the past. So many people I've met, all known people. Of course, with due respect to them, I'm sure, going through those gurus, I've, probably, ended up with Appa. One of the important thing is, as I said, it just happened, and it's continued to happen now, and that's a phenomenal, differentiative between anybody else and Appa. It's still working on silence. We don't talk to each other, but things just happen.
Yeah. I still remember every time we come to ashram, we just want to bow down to him, and before we leave, we just want him to just have a glance.
That glimpse makes a huge difference.
Yeah. It's just that kanreppelli.
Correct. That acknowledgement of okay, fine.
That's it.
Yeah.
I'm there.
Correct.
So
Yeah.
That itself, the small gesture of his, it just fulfills the.
That's right. Yeah.
Everything.
Yeah. I just remember, Kuruapur trips with Appa, and I don't remember how many trips, maybe 10 or 15 times we have traveled with Appa, and you accompanied most of the trip. And one of the memorable trip was the first trip that I had with Appa. Actually, took us along, and I must share you this experience. So I had no idea of what Kurugude was all about, and the journey started with Appa. I don't know if it was my first journey or the second journey. So I started having loose motions, as and when we started traveling. And I thought probably it's a pretty short-term thing, and I'll overcome that. And as and when the journey started, it started, sort of catching up. And, and gradually when we reached Kurugude, and, when we, sailed through that river and things like that. And initially the Kurugude was something like, absolutely no place to stay. You sleep wherever you have, you sleep under a tree, near, on the top of a sand, or on the soil, anywhere, no toilets and things like that.
Yeah.
And I happen to have a, very, deep loose motions, in the night especially. And I'm sure, the darkness of Kurugude in the night. The darkness is something which you have to experience. It is not lights off. It is not lights off and darkness. It's a real deep darkness. So, and in order to go to the toilet, you had to go about 500 meters to at least a kilometer, and then come back again. So like this, one of the nights, I probably must have gone to toilet probably close to about 25 to 30 times. The entire thing, and I was not exhausted, but I felt very bad that why Appa had to call me here, and why he had to trouble me so much. And these thoughts came to my mind at Sripada Vallabha's temple, and I really was angry with Appa, and a lot of words came through my mind that why did you call me, why this has happened to me, I can't take it anymore. And I was pretty shy to say this to anybody else. No other devotees knew it, including my colleagues who, my devotees who came in the car. Once I reached the ashram, all the devotees were in line taking, permission from Appa to return back. Once we reached the dairy, and I was also there. And usually, I travel with my, devotee by name Raghu back home. We had come together, and Raghu went and asked for the permission. Appa said, okay. Then it was my turn. Immediately, Appa tells, ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಸುಧಾರಿಸ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹೋಗು. Then he went inside. Then I came back to Raghu and told him, Appa told me ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಸುಧಾರಿಸ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹೋಗು. I think until then I had not told him what actually happened. This was only with me that I had this experience of loose motion multiple times the previous night. Then I told Raghu, and once I told him, he said wait, just let's go to Appa and ask him again, and tell him that you will come with me, or you will follow me in another car, we will take care of you. And then we met Appa. Appa said okay, fine, then go ahead. But once I came back after a few days, I realized that how did Appa know all this? It was a personal experience. I had not shared this with anybody, and how Appa knew every bit of it, and he never, got into the nitty-gritties of it. He just said, "Swalpa sudharsಕೊಂಡು hogu." That actually spoke everything, all the experience that I've gone through the previous night. So some of these experiences have left a deep impression, and very often I think about this, because it's important, I feel, sometimes to think about these experiences. The reason for that is, that the faith within you deepens so much, so much inside, that it just, establishes you. There is no scope for doubt. There is no two ways about it. And I personally believe that it's important that, you think about this experience pretty often, so that, it's an unshaken devotion that you have towards your guru. So yeah, pretty interesting journey so far.
I remember Appa came to Mangalore, visited Dharmasthala. Can you share that experience?
Correct, yeah. He did not come to Mangalore. He came to Dharmasthala directly from ashram. One of our ashram devotees invited Appa to his house. And since my brother lives in a place called Beltangadi, which is close to Ujire, where Appa was supposed to come, me and my brother visited the devotee's house in Ujire.
Okay.
And this was in the evening, and Appa was given a grand welcome to devotee's house, and Appa ended up staying overnight in devotee's house. Then, since there were many devotees in the house, some of the devotees, I requested some of the devotees if they can come over to my brother's house. So I went and asked permission from Appa, can we take some of our devotees to my brother's house? And Appa said, okay, but you need to come at 5 o'clock in the morning tomorrow. So we went, and we came back next day early morning at 5 o'clock, and from there Appa took us to Dharmasthala. I think the first stop was Dharmasthala. So when we went there, I was not sure that how this whole meeting happened in Dharmasthala. We just happened to get into a hall there, where Dr. Virendra Hegde, the Dharmadhikari of Dharmasthala, was already there, and we were made to sit in in a sofa in that hall, and Dr. Virendra Hegde was talking to probably few devotees who had come to see him on the other side. And after a few minutes, if I recall correctly, Dr. Virendra Hegde actually walked up to where Appa was sitting, and then we exchanged. Ashram devotees gave few books to Appa, to Dr. Virendra Hegde, and he sat and he took his time to read some books, and he was pretty impressed reading few of these verses from the book. I think it was Ganana Bhavasara. I don't recall correctly what he was going through. Oh. Maybe it was Ganana Bhavasara. And he was pretty impressed with the way that it was written. And he asked, I think it was told that Appa himself had written these verses. And then he asked us, where are you guys from? Do you have an ashram? And we said yes. And Appa invited Dr. Virendra Hegde to ashram. And I don't recall what he said. Maybe he said that, maybe with one of the days permits, I can, I'll plan my trip to come over. Is probably what he said. Don't recall correctly. So it was a very, then Virendra Hegde offered, bouquet of fruits, flowers and all to Appa. There's some sort of a small sort of a Sanmana was done to Appa. I recall vaguely. Something was handed over to Appa, and Appa also gave some pleasantries to Dr. Virendra Hegde. And it was a very nice meeting. It was the first time meeting someone, who's Dharmadhikari of Dharmasthala now. So it was a great moment for me as well, to go and meet, to see, these conversations between Appa and Dharmadhikari. And we left Dharmasthala, and then we, reached Subramanya. And as usual, Subramanya was pretty crowded that day. And Appa actually got into the temple. He removed his shirt, and he just got into the temple. And he just he just joined the regular queue, and he went around the temple. Inside the temple, prostrated, and then he came back. Then I believe we went to a place where there was stream of water flowing, and we all got into the stream. And I remember Appa splashing a lot of water on all of us, and it was more than bathing. We were all totally drenched with water. And after that, I recall, Appa came and sat in one place. There was a building outside, just outside the temple, and there was a chair kept near the staircase. I don't recall. There was some chair there, and Appa came and sat there, and we all devotees were standing next to Appa. Few of them were sitting. I remember I was actually, beside Appa standing, and Samdev was on the right hand side of Appa. All of a sudden, I saw a Swami, tall Swami, well built, fair, with long hair, very sharp eyes, with jolige, and with kavi, full kavi, very good looking Swamiji, uh, you know, prostrated in front of Appa. He just completely, prostrated in front of Appa, and few seconds he was just lying in the floor, just praying to Appa, and then he got up. Appa, as usual, was having his betel nut, going on, and then Appa asked Sayamdev to ask Swamiji from where is he come, and Swamiji mentioned that he's from. Appa didn't know Kannada. Swamiji said, no, I'm from North. I think it was Uttarakhand is what he said. I don't recall correctly. Swamiji said, I'm from so and so place, and I speak Hindi, only Hindi. Then next question from Appa was, what has that Swami got me? And he asked, and they would ask him, name Tandidane Kelo ange anta. Nangen Tandidane Kelo ange. Then Swamiji got his his jolige right in front of him, and started searching for something. And then he removed a big Rudrakshi and he gave it to Appa. Samdev collected on behalf of Appa. And then Appa asked him, asked Samdev to ask Swamiji that, can you come to our ashram? And Samdev gave ashram address, and he said, yes, I'll come. He noted down all the address, and and Appa, whatever money he had in his pocket, he put his hand there, and removed all the money, whatever was there, and gave it to Samdev to put it on Swami's jolige. And Swami, he accepted with a lot of grace. The Swamiji accepted with a lot of humility, and and once again prostrated in front of Appa. A few seconds just praying to Appa, then he got up and went. So all this while I was wondering, in these thousands of people around, nobody even can notice Mahatma sitting there, Mahatma like Appa sitting there. I was wondering, how did this person really recognize that we were in one corner, where it's not so easy to come and see us that somebody is, sitting there. He's come all the way, he's identified Appa. I don't know if he's watched him some far. I mean, it was just mind blowing. I mean, even if you've seen him, you will need to recognize that he's a Mahatma sitting right. How did the Swamiji identify that? This kind of etched in my mind, for. I was very taken aback the moment I saw this whole thing happening. Later on, what I heard was after a couple of months that this Swamiji happened to visit ashram, and he did conduct a homa along with Appa and Amma early in the morning on one of the days. And after the homa was done, I believe he left ashram. And when a devotee explained this whole thing to me, what happened in ashram, I mean, it just made me to think that how people recognize who they are. This is I don't know if everybody noticed this. At least for me, since I was very close to Appa, in looking at all these instances of Swami meeting Appa at Subramanya, then he coming to ashram. How will somebody know who Appa is all about? This this is something which sometimes I really get. This is etched in my memory. I always thought that how such an instance can happen when somebody is totally unknown to you comes and prostrates in front of you, knowing that this is a Mahatma. So this is one most memorable experience for me.
I think you should tell about your Kumbh Mela experience. That was
Yeah.
one
Well,
memorable one.
yeah. Well, when we speak about experiences, I think, somebody had told that, you need to make a note of all these experiences. Kumbh Mela was something, it was very initial days, even though it was, in 2011, I guess, or 13, I don't remember the year.
2013 February, I guess.
Yeah, 2013 February. So I always had a feeling that Appa still don't know me. He's never asked me my name. Hence, obviously, he doesn't know who I am. So one of the days in February, I guess, first week of February, as usual, I traveled to office, and as I was keeping my laptop bag on the table, I just thought, let me just check my mobile, and I just checked a message stating that Appa at Sadashinagar house, you know, that's all was a message. And for some reason, I thought I should go and meet him. I actually did not even open my laptop. I called you, right from the office and told that, look, I'm coming. Appa is in Sadashiv Nagar's house. Be ready. And, we both traveled to Appa that day. And, there were some devotees. And then we had
Pushpama's place.
Pushpama's house. Yeah, right. There were some, devotees, then we had lunch there. And what happened at that point of time was, they were giving fruits as prasadam, while devotees were, going, asking permission. Yeah, asking permission with Appa and moving off. And I happened to give this fruit to Appa, and Appa used to give to devotees. I don't know why I was behind Appa at that point of time. Then everybody had left, and it was only you, me, and Tanvi were around. And first time Appa asked me, do you want to, Kumbh Melak Bartiya? Is what he asked. I said, Appa, ನೀವು ಹೇಗೆ ಹೇಳ್ತೀರಾ ಹಾಗೆ. I said, ಇವ್ರೇನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ? He looked at you and Tanvi and asked, ಇವ್ರೇನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರಂತೆ? ಅಪ್ಪ, ನೀವು ಏನ್ ಹೇಳ್ತೀರಾ ಹಾಗೆ. Then Appa said, okay, ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಕಷ್ಟ ಆಗ್ಬೋದು, ನೀನ್ ಒಬ್ನೇ ಬಂದ್ಬಿಡು, ಆ ಸ್ಯಾಮ್ ದವ ಅರೇಂಜ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ದಾನೆ, ಅವ್ನು ಫೋನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾನೆ ನಿಂಗೆ ಅಂತ. Then we kind of took Appa's blessing and left the place. Then I was having a thought in my mind, Appa doesn't know who I am, he doesn't know my name, how will I get a call? And by then, 2 weeks had passed. I knew for sure, it's all forgotten. I guess about end of second week or, beginning of third week, I get a call from Sam Dev, stating, Sunil, Appa nin hesru bardidare, neen Kumbh Melak barbekanta. So that's how the journey started with Appa, to Kumbh Mela. And all these things, this experience that happened, you only think back after everything is done. For example, I don't know who sent me that message, who asked me to come to, Pushpama's house, and how Appa, took me to this whole thing. So which means that, he absolutely knew, what needs to be done, how to get this done, and things like that. So these are all, I don't know, it's pretty deep inside me, and rightly so good you reminded me about these experiences. It is, and the journey at Kumbh Mela was unbelievable. I just felt extremely light, and it was about 8 days journey. I think we stayed with Appa there. I just remember the peace around me at that point of time. I think probably that actually changed me from what I was before, and Sunil before Kumbh and after Kumbh. It completely changed me from inside. And I think only a guru can do it. And now you tend to believe that there's nothing with you unless Guru's grace falls upon you. Nothing will move. And it just shows that the influence of Guru on a devotee, and how he takes care of us. Look, most important thing is not about what people see outside, right? It's about what you're experiencing every moment within you. It's not about what is that outside of you, right? And that is immeasurable, what you're experiencing within you. And it can happen. And remember, again, it is all in silence. He's not talking to you, it's nothing happening to you, but everything is happening. What is supposed to happen is just happening to you. And this process of the way Appa works, that just happening is something phenomenal. There's no explanation for this, there's no logic for this, you can't explain these things. and that's how I guess Appa works with all the devotees, So yeah, it's been phenomenal.
Yeah. I don't know what to say. There is no summary. There is the experience. As we talk, I'm just feeling, oh, wow, where are we?
Correct.
It's a nice feeling to even think that we have been blessed to be with Guru. Uh, more than he's just a divine. He has that place where I think
Correct.
I can't even gauge or give any place. He's just at the topmost. Where
Yeah, look, when we started this conversation, you remember that, you asked me a question, will your family, how will your family take it? Have you thought about it? And, today you are speaking about, look how highly you speak about Appa. And it's not that I have influenced you to do that. It just happened to you, and it is very natural phenomenon. Again, no talking, nothing. And that the real, the huge phenomenon that happens within us is something, which can never be explained. I think, when I look back to, the time when I was reading Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna, I think the devotees even then experience the same thing, through Guru Maharaj, what you're experiencing through Appa, or probably even more, because look, in today's world, you're constantly in your corporate life working, and a lot of things are happening with your external world. But in spite of all this, if Appa is influencing you internally, effortlessly, so much, then just imagine, what a guru he must be then.
Yeah, very true. I mean, every step he's been taking care of is anything, be it a small need
Correct.
or anything, it is just taken care like.
Correct.
Like just a pin, even when it falls, you won't even know, right?
Exactly.
So it is like that. So I think at least we are blessed having Appa in our lives.
Correct.
I think we couldn't have asked for more.
Correct. Somebody asked me recently, that have you visited this temple? This temple is powerful. Have you gone there? And I think after meeting Appa, at least for me personally, that I just felt that it's all done for me now. There's nothing left for me, outside of me to visit some place, temple or God or goddess or somebody. I think it's not. I think, it's done for me. It's complete now, and there's now, it's just an existence that's happening. I'm being with Appa, thinking about him, and that's it. That's all it is. It's just, it is all done. And Appa has cleaned it up completely inside. There's nobody to look out anymore. It's all about being inside right now, being with yourself, thinking of Appa, and that's it.
All I have no words to say, but we are just blessed to have Appa.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
We can only thank him and to be there with us for the rest of our journey. Jai Gurudev.
Jai Gurudev. Om SriSatUpasiye Namaha.
Om SriSatUpasiye Namaha.